Welcome back to our 4 for the 4th. And in this episode, we're going to be covering the Star Wars Extended Universe.
Yes.
All the films that are not 1 through 9, basically.
Well, and not just films, a lot of television series that actually make up a lot of material.
Yes, they do. And they're responsible for some excellent characters that we did not see in the original, the 9, I should say.
See for a while. I mean,
I didn't see for a while, but I am caught up now.
You are.
And I have to say that Ahsoka Tano
fantastic
is an amazing character.
Might be the best character in Star Wars.
It could very well be.
Yeah, she's
because
fantastic.
Her arc is just, it's devastating. I mean, it's absolutely devastating.
She's one of the few Jedi at the time, because she's no Jedi. I know she says that a few times, but she's one of the few in the Order that sees that there's something wrong.
Sure, yeah.
And the rest of the Jedi Order in the Clone Wars is really, the cartoon we're talking about, the series, is really out of touch.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And we talked about that in the prequel video, but also that is made very, very evident and clear in the Clone Wars cartoon that the Jedi Order is so out of touch.
Sure.
With what's going on in the Republic.
Well, and it's something you say, you had a greater appreciation for the prequels after having watched the Clone Wars.
Particularly Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
He's so much more depth to his character as a result of what he's been through. You really see how he could make that leap from, a star Jedi.
Yep.
To the controlling Sith.
And I really like his character in the show, in the Clone Wars cartoon, and you understand why he's so frustrated, as they don't give him any trust ever. No. He does all kinds of fantastic feats for them, does all kinds of tasks, is pretty much their go-to hero, and yet they're just kind of like, yeah, whatever, go sit down.
Yeah.
And go back to the kids' table.
Well, and no one more so than Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and Obi-Wan is just, they exemplify his prickiness in the prequel movies.
My goodness.
Yeah.
They really do. And actually, there's a really great scene in the Clone Wars where Obi-Wan's kind of pinned down. There's a battle, and where is Anakin? And he's like, I'm right here. And there's shots all around. He's like, what are you doing down there? He's just so cocky and has a plan and goes in, and still Obi-Wan treats him like, whatever, you shouldn't have done it that way. Wins the battle single-handedly, and it was super cocky about it. And man, Anakin in that particular episode is so cool.
And then Ahsoka, by extension, gets treated like that because she's Anakin's Padawan.
Sure, yeah.
And she clearly has the kind of traits that Anakin has.
Oh yeah.
Because that's her master.
Yeah,
so
that aversion to authority.
Yeah, she's going to pick up on those traits and collect those traits and act on those traits.
Sure.
But that also makes part of what makes her character so fantastic and great.
It really does, yeah.
And then that translates really well into the Mandalorian series. And
I sent you a text yesterday saying, man, did they nail the casting?
Oh, killed
Rosario Dawson is perfect as Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was a character that I was pretty confident that they were going to do really well in live action when the rumors came out. Rumors came about, and then it became the truth that they were going to have Ahsoka Tano on The Mandalorian.
Sure.
Or it was strongly rumored. They never really said it until she was there. Because Dave Filoni, that was one of the first characters he created with George Lucas when they started coming up with the Clone Wars arc overall.
Sure.
I think actually Ahsoka was the first character that they created and that Dave Filoni drew. So it's kind of like that's one real close to him.
Oh, sure.
And it's his baby. So they were going to do Ahsoka well.
Exactly. I was going to say she gets the royal treatment for sure. And you can tell her story is handled with care.
Yeah.
It's well written. And even, going into The Mandalorian, I thought it was really neat that her as Padawan, she does take on a lot of the traits of Anakin Skywalker.
Absolutely.
Sky Guy, as she calls
Sky
him.
Guy. And Snips. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and so Snips ends up working with a number of different characters that maybe Jedi typically wouldn't, like Bo-Katan, for one.
Oh, yeah.
And we see that
in The Mandalorian.
We see that in The Mandalorian as well. And that's a really cool holdover.
And she continues on with her connection to Mandalore and the Rebels with Sabine Wren, who is another of one of the royal houses of Mandalore, who we see in Rebels and is rumored to be in the Ahsoka Tano series that's forthcoming.
Man, can't wait for that.
Oh, dude, it's going to be awesome. They've made so many memorable characters in the cartoon series that are now using that as a feeding pool for their live action series.
Yeah.
We're also going to see hopefully a Lando live action series with Donald Glover.
Oh, yeah,
probably the most after The Last Jedi, probably the most polarizing movie is Solo.
Okay, so I have, maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but Solo for me, I went and took my dad to see it when it came out, the day it came out.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, we were glued to the screen.
I love Solo. It's one of my favorites, actually.
That movie is action from front to back, and it's just fun.
I'm going to double down on your unpopular opinion.
Okay.
I like Solo better than Rogue One. And a lot of people do not.
Me too.
And that's not disparaging Rogue One. I love Rogue One.
No, Rogue One's amazing.
But I like Solo better. Mm-hmm. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
From a home theater perspective, the video is fantastic.
Oh, sure.
The soundtrack is great. It's got a great Atmos track.
It's got a number of really, really great Star Wars moments.
The screw up of 12 parsecs and the Kessel Run. They give you an explanation that is actually viable.
Yes.
That alone.
That makes the
gives
movie
it some
worth
cred.
I think it got a lot of crap because of the actor playing Han Solo, but I think he did a great job. I mean, he embodied Han Solo.
And I think really, honestly, the reason that it gets as much grief as it does is whether people want to say it, admit it, there was some Star Wars fatigue.
Sure.
Disney grabbed hold of the Star Wars franchise and just was cranking stuff out.
Yeah. Well, they were trying to do a similar thing to the MCU at that point.
Well,
and
there could have been MCU fatigue as well if not for the pandemic. So
that's very true.
That might be a good side effect, one of the only ones of the pandemic is that we didn't really get much Marvel fatigue because, it stopped.
Yeah.
And there was, I think really Solo suffered from that.
Sure.
Rogue One is a fantastic story and was really, really well received.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But Solo was not. But Rogue One came out first. And it was a familiar story, too, right? Rogue One.
Sure. It was connecting the dots.
Yeah. It's immediate. You could really call it Star Wars 3.5.
Sure.
Or 3.75. I mean, it leads directly into A New Hope.
And I will say, with the extended Star Wars universe, one thing that we have seen, both light side and dark, and it started with Rogue One, is do not put a Skywalker in a hallway if you hope to survive.
Bad idea. Don't face a Skywalker in a hallway.
Absolutely not.
Losing proposition, whether either one, is a bad idea.
Yeah. We see it first with Vader in Rogue One, and then in The Mandalorian at the very end with
and that part in The Mandalorian. So let's take a minute there. And the other, the original trilogy video that's out, and we did, and you guys can watch. And may have already watched. We talk about how you didn't get your Luke Skywalker baddest Jedi in the universe moment and I said 20 some years, is actually over 30 years.
Sure.
That we were all expecting in the sequel trilogy, at least people my age.
Yeah.
You didn't get it till The Mandalorian, but boy, did Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau deliver on that.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Those robots that the name escaped, Death Troopers.
Yeah.
The Death Troopers. Mando is a pretty accomplished fighter.
And had a lot of trouble with one.
Luke walked in and it was like they didn't exist. He's like, yeah, whatever. Get away.
Exactly.
And that is the Luke that I wanted to see.
Yeah, and we finally got to see him.
Well, I mean, and all of us, we talked about it at the time. And when those shows, when The Mandalorian Season 3 was out, Phil and I would text every day, and I'd get up in the morning before work and watched Mando and have my coffee. Mm-hmm. And that first morning, I'm like, you got to watch Mando when that episode came out, because when that X-Wing flies in the hangar
One
bay,
X-Wing, what's that going to do?
X-Wing. One X-Wing? Great. We're saved.
You know what it is. You're like, oh, bite your tongue, Gina Carano. You know what that is. Or you don't know what that is. I know what that is. And then the black robe and the black hand. You're like, oh, it's really Luke Skywalker.
Oh yeah, it was chill inducing.
I'm getting chills right now. I mean, it was just you were taken back. Everyone our age was taken back to being an 8-year-old kid watching Return of the Jedi, and it was
finally seeing Luke
just being the fully trained Jedi Master now.
Yes.
And just going and just whatever, go away. You can't do anything.
Yeah. My favorite part of that is when he lifts the droid up and, I mean, just crushes it.
Effortlessly.
Yeah.
Effortlessly.
Absolutely amazing. Now, we can't talk about The Mandalorian without bringing up this little guy here.
Oh, yeah. The Baby Yoda or Baby Grogu. Grogu? Baby Grogu?
Huh?
Exactly. So, I mean, what a brilliant creation.
Without a doubt.
I remember watching, everyone was very excited for The Mandalorian when it was coming out. Mm-hmm. There was even teasers. People weren't sure. Maybe it was a Boba Fett show.
Right.
We weren't sure what it was, but it was a Mandalorian.
No one knew.
No, they kept it under wraps. Yep. And I remember watching that first episode when they get there, and there's just that little pod. And Mando goes, well, they said it's 50 years old, and the light goes off, right?
Yep.
And it's like, oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! No! That is not happening right now! I'm like, you dirty bastard, you did it. That's a Yoda. I know that's a Yoda.
Right.
And in my head, in like half a second, flips it open, and you see it like, oh my God. Holy crap.
Yeah, it was one of those moments, like the hallway scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those moments. We've only ever seen one other of Yoda's species, and that's Yaddle.
Yep.
See her in Phantom Menace.
Yep. On the council.
On the council, yep. Yeah. But now we have an infant of that species,
right?
Who is clearly a very powerful Force user, but doesn't know why he's a powerful Force
and
user.
It brings to the point that we have to talk about is the course of the future of the franchise, and it's in good hands. I mean, it's
look at me, sure.
Jon Favreau is George Lucas now.
I'm George Lucas now,
and he is. I mean, and the fact that him and Dave Filoni, what they've done with this expanded universe, and I'm going to wrap the Clone Wars into it because Jon Favreau was part of that as well. Mm-hmm. He was pre-Vizsla.
He was, yeah.
So, and he was part of the consulting with that, and I'm sure he was. If you looked, there's probably producer credits in there. I haven't gone that far, but between the two of them, they are fans first.
Yes,
and I think that's what makes them so great at producing this because they keep the integrity of Star Wars.
They know what the fans want to see.
They know what the fans want to see, and they work it in.
Exactly.
And just it's incredible the way they've done it. And I really, really, really hope that Disney just makes them in charge of Star Wars. Just run everything.
They should be.
They don't have to direct everything. They don't have to produce everything. But just like Kevin Feige in the MCU, just run everything.
Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, those are your guys.
Yeah, they should just run Star Wars, period.
They should.
Have a nice day.
Because what they've produced so far is just, without a doubt, it's the best Star Wars material
they have a track
we've seen
record.
Since the original.
It's not like it's, taking a chance. There's no chance to be taken.
That's true, yeah.
It's just doubling down on your bet.
Favreau, when he touches anything, he decided he was going to make a Christmas movie. It turned into Elf.
Yeah, I mean,
he decided he's going to make a superhero movie. It was Iron Man.
He's a really good director.
And he makes a Star Wars series, and it's The Mandalorian.
He's made that transition from actor to director better than most.
Without a doubt.
There's only a few that have done that. I mean, I'm going to put Ron Howard.
Sure, yeah.
Has been like that, but Favreau, I think, is better.
Well, and Ron Howard also in the Star Wars universe. He produced Solo and
directed Solo.
That's correct.
After they changed up the two guys from 21 Jump Street. Yes.
Right. Which is, I mean, in my opinion, I think we stated this already. Solo's a great movie.
I loved it.
I loved it too. With that said, not only did we get new characters with the extended universe, but we were able to deep dive into some characters that we didn't see a whole heck of a lot of in the canonical movies.
Yeah.
One in particular that really got my attention was Darth Maul.
Oh, so good.
We really, really got to see what happened to Darth Maul, his brother Savage. I mean, these are things we didn't know.
And for those of you who watched the Clone Wars as it was released, which I did not, be honest and say that, when there was that end credit scene or mid credit scene in Solo with basically or at the very end of the movie, with the Mother of Dragons reporting to Darth Maul.
Yes.
Everyone, I was surprised, like, whoa. Yeah. But if you watch the Clone Wars, you're like,
you already knew.
Yeah, he's a crime lord. We know this. What's surprising?
We're all over sitting in Mandalore.
Yeah. We know what's up. And but Darth Maul's character was so well developed, and his brother Sauvage, which he's never been in live action, and won't be in live action,
and won't be.
But Ventress was another great character from the Clone Wars, from the same planet, Dathomir. But Darth Maul is a really, really, really well done character, and the interactions that he had with Ahsoka.
Really, really cool. That was another one I was going to bring up when I said Ahsoka deals kind of outside of what Jedi would normally deal with.
Well, she may be the original Grey Jedi.
Yeah, she really is. She really is.
I mean, even at the end,
Maul.
Darth Maul was helping them on certain things.
Well, I'd say she used Maul to accomplish her own ends.
He had his own means as well.
Of course,
it was a mutual use. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and Bo-Katan, another, which we said a few times, but another great live action character.
Yeah.
That was a great animated character that's voiced by the same person.
Played by the same actress.
And, there's stories out there you can say that Dave Filoni, even when he recruited Katie Sackhoff, was like, I'd love to have this as live action at some point. So just keep that in mind.
Sure.
And it happened, And
it did.
What happened?
Katie Sackhoff is fantastic as Bo-Katan, and... in
both the cartoon and live action.
Battlestar Galactica fans, to see Starbuck again is just awesome. So it's really, really great, and I'm excited to see what else is coming in the expanded universe, like we talked about earlier. Lando. Mm-hmm. Give me more Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian, please.
He's great.
So good.
I mean, it really is a Billy D. Williams just impression.
Yeah,
he's
great.
He's really great at it, and I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see the Bad Batch now.
Oh yeah, well that's very soon.
That's very soon. Heck, that comes out today.
Yeah.
Because today is May the 4th, and you can go and check out our other 4 for the 4th videos. We've got 3 others.
Yeah, we do.
We do. So with that, we'll call that one for the extended Star Wars universe. But I'd like to remind you to like and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere you find your podcasts. We are there. Until then, may the 4th be with you. And what's on your
nerd card?